headset.
Hello, and now we're here to hear a wonderful presentation by Kristina Holzweiss, former School Librarian of the Year for School Library Journal. Her session title is Better Together, Librarians as Crowdsourcers. So I'm going to give you the controls and you can just take it away once I make sure that you can control the screen. So where are you on my list? There you are. Okay.
So thank you, everyone. Casey, I sound like a Freudian slip there. Librarians as crowdsourcerers. And I think that might be a better title because we are always working magic. I want to thank you so much for inviting me to present to these awesome folks today. I see a lot of familiar faces, and that's what it's all about. We are better together. I've been teaching for 28 years, and when I started as an English teacher, I was alone. And I was on a team. I was in middle school, and we had, 3 seventh grade English teachers. And I did not use the internet. I was dialing up on AOL. You could put that in there in your chat if you remember dialing up to AOL. And if someone picked up the phone, bam, you lost your connection. That's how we connected. So just becoming a school librarian, and it just has opened up a whole new world to me. I really feel like there are things going on in the world that are challenges right now, but I am more excited about teaching than ever because of this kind of interaction, because of technology, and because of how we connect at conferences, live or virtual. So I'm very excited. So today's session is librarians as crowdsources and how we work together to create magic. So I'm just going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to go into here, share my screen. Okay. All right. So here's the presentation. This is the back end. I'm editing as I go along. If there's anything I need to change, I'm just going to put it right in my Wakelet right here. I'm going to press the share button, and I'm also going to copy the link so you can have this for yourselves. You could have this, and I'm just going to look for, where's the chat? It always moves around on me. Okay, hold on one second, friends, because I am looking for the, here we go. Here's the chat. So I'm going to put in the session resources right there. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down a little. This is actually the QR code to Wakelet. If you haven't used Wakelet, it is pretty amazing. I will say that they're going to now some paid options because they're upgrading. They're adding video to Wakelet, and I know there are a lot of other things on the horizon, but I can't say. So there will be a paid version, but there are some still free versions that you can use, and you can make some collections, and I enjoy doing that. So if you want to use your mobile device to scan the QR code, great. If not, you could just use the link that I just gave you. So first of all, here is a Jamboard, and I'd love to invite you into this Jamboard. If you've never used Jamboard before, it's very simple. I've opened it up so all of you can get in there. Let me just check the chat for a second. Okay, can I see the link? Okay, let me share that link one more time. Copy, and let me go into the chat. Oh, I put it into hosts and panelists. There we go. Got to put it into everyone. There we go. Now you should be able to see that. So again, we have our Jamboard right here. So I would like you during our discussion to jump in there. And if you've never used Jamboard before, it's very easy. You can just add a sticky note. You could change the color of the sticky note. You could put your links. You could put some text in there. You could actually put it in a text box if you like, just by pressing the T for text box and images. And we have all these, you could add other slides up here. So be my guest, be welcome to share your favorite tools for collaboration, your favorite ideas for collaboration. You could put them right there into the Jamboard, and this way you'll have the access to the Jamboard as a back channel even after the session's over. Okay, another way we can stick together is through Stick Together. Now, if you've never used Stick Together before, it's a really great way to make connections. So again, all you have to do is click the link, and You could even zoom in, and you can click the color and click it right here. Click, oops, sorry, here's the A, and we're putting in some A's. Okay. And I like putting this on the monitor outside our hallway with a QR code. And you could even create pixel parties so you can schedule them in advance. Well, look at all this. We are better together. Um, but you could also create bonus pixels so people can win prizes. I just put this one up right now because I thought it'd be really fun to do. So we are better together. So as you're listening, or even after the session, you can play with virtual stick together. And virtual stick togethers are all free. All free. So if you want to learn how to do them, if we have time at the end, I will help you out. Or if not, you could just reach out to me, and it's very simple. You could choose whatever's on the website, and they even have calendars for each month. So you can organize them according to holidays and special events that are going on in your library, or you could even connect them. I like using them for like virtual maker spaces and complementing literature. So have fun with Let's Stick Together. So, what are some of the ways that I've enjoyed crowdsourcing? Well, this is a fun example. This it's for Casey's Boss Librarian conference, summit, whatever you want to call it, Happy Palooza. This is a great example of all of us getting together. So what I did was an egg camp cardigan camp. If you've never been to egg camp cardigan camp, it is free and it's all day and it's virtual and it's international. So yeah, it begins at midnight or 12:01 on one day, and it literally ends 11:59 or midnight the following day. So people get a little confused by the timing, but that I we created it that way because this way we can go international and not have to worry about people and time zones. So because I get really confused, I put everything in Eastern Standard Time, but we also put it in different times as well. So, uh, Egg Camp Cardigan Camp, it's usually in November, and it is around World Kindness Day and Mr. Rogers, famous Mr. Rogers, who wore his cardigan. So it's in celebration of kindness, celebration of Mr. Rogers, but in celebration of all the great things that are going around all around the world in libraries. So we were going to set one up for this year. Certificates are available, and it's an official egg camp. So it's on Eventbrite. It's on their schedule of all the other egg camps, and I think that's really important because it shows other educators that librarians are doing things and librarians are important, and we have value, and our libraries are dynamic and they're thriving.
We can
We
offer
have digital
service.
badges, we have a facilitator application, and eventually one day I would like it to go
So
to be live, to be a satellite application. So it did begin at our local public library, Syosset Public Library, and we did it face to face. And then COVID, and so we had to do it virtually. What I'd love to do is have it both virtual and in person. So these are the links to the past egg camp cardigan camps. And if you like, you can just click on there and you'll see all of the resources and recordings if presenters recorded them, because you're responsible for creating your own Zoom link. So if you want to participate this year, just reach out to me, but it is 24 hours. And there was one librarian, Ruby, who attended 11 of the sessions over the 24 hours. So that is Egg Camp Cardigan Camp, and it's very easy to do in your own library, and it's very easy to participate. So during COVID, I rediscovered some EdTech tools that I had enjoyed using before, and I wanted to find a way to help people. And now we were all in survival mode. We were wondering, oh my gosh, do we have internet at home? Do our kids have devices? What ed tech tools can we use? Do our teachers have training? That was a big problem. A lot of our teachers um, did not have the training, and all of a sudden they reached out to us. I know I was bombarded, and they were reaching out like, what can I use to connect with my students? What can, besides Google Meet, what else can I use? Well, maybe create a Flipgrid, and the kids can record themselves. So we had kids who are in a lifeguarding class. Yes, my school has a swimming pool. you can't do swimming during COVID virtually. So the kids actually would record first aid, CPR, those kinds of things. We had music virtually. We had art virtually, and we used a lot of Flipgrid, Canva, Buncee, Wakelet, and Book Creator. And Book Creator was a biggie back then. So I was like, well, how am I going to get all this information out? And I don't know everything. So if you go to this link, Book Creator, in August of 2020, we released, actually, one was in July and one was August. We released 2 ebooks that were crowdsourced. One is the epic ebook of web tools and apps. And the other one is a digital librarian survival toolkit. And I'll show you that link in a little while. What I really love about Book Creator, if you haven't used Book Creator, is the accessibility that it has. You can use speech to text, you could use closed captions, it will give transcripts, you can speak in multiple languages and it will transcribe them. I just love Book Creator for those things. As you can see, this link has been around the world many, many times. And then another thing about Book Creator, it offers you analytics. So I love seeing that. Librarians were all about data. So if I click this, you can see this ebook right here, and everything is hyperlinked. So the words and the terms are alphabetical order, but they're not alphabetized in the book because it was just getting very, very cumbersome. It's about 300 pages and about 50 educators all around the world. But what you can do is you can click a link and it will bring you right to that educator section about this is taking a little while to load, but this one is Deb Siemens on Wakelet. And so all you can do is go through, you have a few pages, you get a little taste of it, and then you can look at something else. And then you can also go back to the index. So you don't have to keep flipping through the pages. This one goes to Kapwing. And here are all the things you could do with Kapwing. And then it brings you to the index again. So this was I was really happy about this project because it also showed how important school librarians are. We were attending so many webinars, we were learning so many things, but our faculty, our teachers were getting so bombarded that we're kind of like that um, that a liaison. We help to filter out what we think that teachers need to know. Sometimes teachers say, "Oh my gosh, you give us so much information." I said, "If I gave you all the information that I have been learning, you would really be bombarded." So this was just an easy way to share out about all these awesome web tools and apps. And I don't have experience with all of them. And it was crowdsourced, and this was phenomenal. These are all different educators around the world. We also created a version of the Digital Librarian Survival Toolkit, which is this one. And this one has been written, it's 200 pages, written by 35 librarians. I think we have one international in here, and we have more than 37,000 reads. And if I go in here, you could see here's a toolkit, and there are all these different things that you can do in your library: digital storytelling, curation tools, Bitmoji remote screens, library data. So it's a really great working ebook for new librarians, or if you just want to freshen up a project, you can go in here and you can say, "Oh, I've never thought of using Wakelet like that," or "I've never thought of using this curation tool." There's screen recording, nerd camp, student portfolios, all of these great ideas in here. And I've heard librarians actually use the link to collaborate with their teachers. They'll say, "Okay," the teachers say, "Well, I don't know really what I want to do with this project." "Well, would you like to create a student portfolio? Would you like to create a live virtual field trip?" And they'll actually use the ebook to collaborate with their teachers. And here are all the authors. And which is an awesome, great thing is you can go in there and look at their social media, or if they put the link to their website, and you can connect with all these other librarians all over the country. So that's the Digital Librarian Survival Toolkit. Both links are in this blog with Book Creator. And if you don't have Book Creator, you can use promo code K Holzweiss for a free 3-month premium upgrade from the day you redeem it. So I wouldn't, if you already started school, maybe you want to use it now, but if you wait wait until the beginning, then you could have that 3 months. And if you look on the Book Creator website, which I forgot to post this, if you look on the Book Creator website, there is a remix. There are remixable books. And on this list of remixable books, they're like templates that you can use. So if you scroll down to remixable books, and I'll put this link into the presentation later on, so you don't have to write it down. But here is a library handbook for you. So you can actually use that free code and you can create your own library handbook. All you have to do is press remix the book. With a free book creator account, you get 40 ebooks. 40 ebooks. So you can create you can create an ebook about the brand new books that you have in your library. You can create an ebook about your makerspace stations. You can create an orientation ebook or a welcome to the library handbook. If you have a library aide, you can create an ebook for that person so they understand through videos and text how to maybe shelve the books, or maybe how to put, what stickers to put on, or processing, and whatever they're doing to help you with, you could put that in that handy dandy ebook. I used to have student textbooks, textbooks in my library, and one of my students would record a lot of tutorials. I would put them in an ebook, and then this way they're easy to share with that one link. And you could put that in your bottom of your email. You could put that in a newsletter. You could share that on social media. I highly recommend Book Creator. So other ways that you can crowdsource. So if you've used Wakelet before, I don't know if you've ever used that search button. You can create collections on Wakelet, but you can also search for information. So when I began advocating for a school librarian in my district, we didn't have a school librarian in our sixth grade center for a decade. And shout out to Casey. Thank you so much for your support during that time when I need help the most. I was meeting with the Parent Teacher Association and the school board, and it was virtual. And I was the last one to speak. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I don't have any handout. I don't have anything to show them." I quickly, while everyone else was speaking during that hour, I quickly went into Wakelet and I typed in library advocacy. And when I went, I found all of these collections that were already created by librarians about library advocacy. So even if you're not curating on your own through Wakelet, it's a wonderful way to search for information. If you want to learn about green screen, type in green screen. If you want to learn about makerspaces, type in makerspaces. People have already made these collections public for you to see, and it's a really great way to crowdsource. If you have an account where you can collaborate on Wakelet collections with librarians in your school or within your district, or just making friends right now. You can create a Wakelet collection, but searching is a really great idea. So what did I do? So I spoke to our school board about having a school librarian. I spoke to the school board 3 times, and it's recorded on YouTube, which is really good because now I have proof and I have evidence of what I said. So going to school board meetings is very important, but when they're recorded, it's even better. So what did I do? I had to write a speech. I knew what I wanted to say, but I had want to get the ideas from more people. So what I did was I crowdsourced this. I asked my friends on social media, "Can you help me? What do you think?" And I actually had people with the editing and the commenting, they went in and they gave me more and more ideas. So this speech that I read to the school board was actually crowdsourced. I had about 40 different librarians either editing it, commenting it, looking at it. When I was up talking to that school board, I was alone. There really was no one else advocating for school libraries, but I had the spirit of these 40 librarians within me as I spoke, because they were not just my words, they were everyone's words. So if you ever feel alone and you have a presentation to make, you want to speak to your school board, you want to advocate, ask for help. People came out and they helped all over. So this is mine. You could take parts of it if you like it. You can use it. Don't reinvent the wheel. That's my gift to you. And I just want to talk about the Ademco School Library Planner for a second. I had wanted to write something else. I had written Hacking School Libraries, but I wanted something that was easily consumable. And so I started thinking, well, I was going to do a tear off, um, like, you know, one of those tear off calendars you tear off and you have a tip for the day. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's 365 tips I have to come up with. And so I spoke to actually Sylvia, who is the creator of Stick Together, and I said, Sylvia, this is my idea, but I don't know what to do with it. She's like, I love the idea, but what do they do with those little tips afterwards? She's like, what did they do? Make origami? What did they do with it? I go, I don't know. So I started asking people. I went into different Facebook groups and I said, would you be interested in a digital planner? Would you be interested in a printed planner? Like, what would be the difference? And people were so supportive. So many people helped and answered my questions. I'm going to just stop sharing for a second. Let me just stop sharing. Stop share. Right. Okay. So, and I do want to take my virtual background off because it can get difficult to see. There we go. It can be very, yes, that's a green screen little board over there. Yes. So in this planner, a lot of these ideas were things that I came up with the first round, but then I feel like people were they think differently. We all think differently. And so people just gave their opinions, and I feel like it's gotten better and better. One of my favorite things, I know it's a very simple page, but it's all these lines. And someone had used the planner, Christine, and she said, can we have all lines instead of those boxes? And I said, well, sure. And I put a vote into our Facebook group, because in our planner we have QR codes. One QR code is to a feedback form, one QR code is to testimonial videos, and one QR code is to our Facebook group. And our Facebook group, we have about 700 people in it, and people give their feedback, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've heard it all. I taught middle school for 23 years. I have to have a tough skin. But one of the favorite parts is in the back. In the back, there are 52 librarians, one for each week of the year, who have their own tips and tricks for you. So we have their name. Here's Katie. I see Katie right here. We have their name. We have a little bit of information about them if you want to connect with them. A book recommendation. So you have 52 different book recommendations and a tip. So sometimes they have a QR code, sometimes they have a link, sometimes it's just an inspirational idea, sometimes it's something about book talk, something about self-care. I mean, everyone has their own expertise. And at the bottom, you could say when you use the tip and why it was your favorite. So I am so thankful to these librarians who helped me to make this even better every day. I'm going to go back here to our Wakelet for 1 second. As you can see, we have our Facebook community. Whether you have the planner or not, I'd love to have your feedback. So join our Facebook community. We have about, like I said, about 700 people in that one. School Libraries Rock. We just hit our 13,000th member. And Canva Librarians, we are up to, I believe it's 20,000 people in that one. So these are 3 Facebook groups that I moderate. Some information I share in more than once, and some things are very particular to that Facebook group, what they need and their focus. All of them are private. I have questions for each one, and everyone needs to agree to the rules, because we don't want any people in there who do not have good intentions. So those are 3 Facebook groups I encourage you to join. Here's my website and my Twitter. Please reach out to me. I love to speak to you. We are better together, and we need to find ways that we can make our lives easier, and also, learn from the room. The smartest people, the smartest person in the room is the room. Again, here is the Jamboard for you. If you would like to continue on your own and speak to one another through this Jamboard, be my guest. Take the idea, use it in your school, collaborate with teachers, collaborate with librarians. If you want to be a part of our Digital Librarian Survival Toolkit or our Epic ebook of web tools and apps, please reach out to me, and we'll get you in there. All right, so let's see if there are any questions in the QA, Q&A. The Wakelet for Library Advocacy, there is one that was mine, but I went through and I said, oh, let me see what everyone else has. I will put my advocacy one into the Wakelet collection. How's that? I will put my advocacy one. There is not a digital version of the planner yet. We've had a few people ask about it, but we're really not sure if it's worthwhile to do that until we have lots of interest. And yes, there will be a cardigan camp this year. I have to get some things off my plate first, but we will have another cardigan camp this year. And again, it'll probably be around World Kindness Day. And I believe that's always in November.
Christine, I'm going to share something with you. There were 2 reasons why my circulation jumped this year. One, it was because I learned a lot last year by watching other presenters during last year's PD for Boss Librarian PD. The second is your planner. Your planner forced me to get out of the digital world because I'm a real techie, I don't like paper. It forced me to sit and jot and write, and also to plan things out a little further, and also have that daily list, weekly list, monthly list, to help me remain on track and organized. And I just want to give you a public thank you, because I had a great year last year. My director, who's going to be presenting later today, he purchased the planners for our entire school district, for our librarians. So that was like wonderful. And I can to speak for them and help them out tremendously. So thank you once again for coming in and taking out your time, because I know you are insanely busy, and I really appreciate you doing this, friend. Appreciate it. I appreciate
Thank you so much, Casey.
I know. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Love you.
Alrighty, love you too.